Hello again.
Welcome back.
Hola.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Vale.
Is that all Spanish you know?
That's all I know.
But Tash, we've been friends for so long. How can
I
you
know.
not know more Spanish?
I know. In Ibiza, all I said was sí and vale.
My dad will come to you and you'll be like, sí, vale, sí, vale.
Yeah,
That was it.
Oh, bless him.
Good times, good times.
I know.
So we're back in the studio.
Let's talk about being delusional.
Yeah, being Delulu. Yeah,
Absolutely Delulu.
absolutely so fucking Delulu.
Yeah.
I swear quite a lot, don't I? I need to stop that.
It's the Spanish in you.
No, I actually don't swear in Spanish. It's funny.
Don't you?
Yeah, I think I picked it up from you English people. Okay, so Delulu, being Delulu, yeah? And why it's a thing for us.
Yeah. I think part of the reason why we connected so well as friends is that we very early on established that we are equally as delusional as each other.
Yeah, probably.
But I think delusion I feel like you have to have delusion, you have to be delusional, because otherwise, how else do you like aim high?
Yeah.
And I feel like what other people think is completely delusional or unachievable just means that their headspace isn't, like, they haven't got the capacity to.
Yeah, to step into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think like yes, like perhaps when we undertook the project, obviously like at first we didn't know where it was going to go. But then it is true that it got to a point where there was an element of like, okay, are we being delusional here? Like, is this ever going to happen or is it not? And how do we move forward with that? But I think like for both of us, it's always been quite natural in a way to be dreamers and believers, even though we're very hardworking people.
Yeah.
Because for me, like if you have a dream but you're not a hardworking, not necessarily a hardworking person, but if you have a dream and you don't have a plan to try to achieve that dream, it's almost a completely delusional actually thing. Because we laugh quite a lot about being delusional, but actually, there is a little bit of a structure within our Delulu.
Yeah. We're Delulu with a plan.
Delulu with a plan. I like that.
Delulu
Yeah.
with a plan.
Delulu with a plan.
Because I think, like, I'm sure when Steve Jobs made the iPhone,
Yeah.
right? No, listen, I was just checking it was Steve Jobs. I thought it was, but anyway. When Steve
I
Jobs
hope it was.
had the idea of like, oh, I'm going to make an iPhone, I'm sure everyone around him was like, you're Delulu, you're insane.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
But I think you have to have elements of extreme insanity. I think you have to be, like, for me, it's not like, oh, well, we'll do this and this and then, we'll see if it happens.
Yeah.
That's categorically not where my headspace is.
Yeah.
My headspace is this is the product, this is what we've made, this is the plan, and there's no way in hell it's not going to get there.
Yeah. And I think like, it will get what it will get, because at the end of the day, there are so many things that we cannot control. But even though we're enjoying the process, like to me, that's very, very important. And yes, we will get from A to B, or let's say we are aiming to get from A to Z. Yeah. If we settle for M along the way, then we'll be happy. But there will be a point where we say, okay, this is it. This is what we wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like something really, really important that is not talked about enough is people always talk about success when it's already happened. Like you hear all these amazing stories about like success in itself, like, oh yeah, like I set up this business and then it's done this amount of millions, or like I've done this project and then it's gone here or there. but nobody really talks about success from the starting point, from point zero. And I guess it makes sense because talking about success when it hasn't yet happened is a very vulnerable thing, because
Mm-hmm.
you are completely exposing yourself and like, almost sharing, okay, this is what I want to do, and I have no clue about how I'm gonna get that or how I'm gonna do it,
Yeah.
but I know that this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna try my best to try to achieve it. And it does take a lot of bravery and like courage to actually speak about it so openly. And
Mm-hmm.
I think like when I watch back, like the project that we've undertaken, like what we're doing is precisely that. It's like we're not being afraid of like putting ourselves out there and trying something completely new, even though we know that we're gonna be judged or, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going for it. And I'm glad that we'd actually started the podcast, and then, we've created a space where we can actually talk about the journey. And like for me, it's about being transparent, and like I want to talk about like how hard it's been at times, like the amount of like nights that we do not sleep because of it, or like
Mm-hmm.
the tears and the, like the roadblocks and like the difficulties. Because at the end of the day, we're two girls that have started a show, a TV show in Birmingham, and like our background is acting. We didn't really know. I had done a couple of like short films that had done quite well, but that's about it. Like we didn't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the truth is we don't know you know how to sell this to a major streamer. We don't know, but
Yeah.
we're gonna figure it out.
We're
Yeah,
gonna figure it out.
yeah, yeah,
And I think fundamentally we're not just gonna go from like A to Z. You have to do A, B, C, D, E.
yeah,
But that's part of the process and that's
hmm,
part of the enjoyment,
yeah,
isn't it? Because then when you get to M or P or Z or wherever the
yeah.
fuck you decide it's done,
I love how we've come up with
then
this like A B C D E.
Amy. But then you can look back and say, oh my God, like we did
Mm.
all of that. That's amazing.
And yeah, and that's one of the things that like every time we shoot a season and we go through the madness of it all, I then take some time to reflect, and I'm like, especially when I'm looking at the footage during the editing process, I think, oh my God, wow, like we've actually made
Mm,
this. This did not exist.
yeah.
None of it. And to me, it's almost like we're creating a whole world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
am I making sense?
You're making perfect sense. I think for me, that really hit home season 3.
Yeah, when we were in Ibiza.
Yeah, it was like, holy
Moly,
moly,
shit.
shit.
Yeah, like what we're making.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and then I think like it was that. Do you remember like that morning when before we started shooting, like we went for a walk to the beach
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about it. If I think about myself 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just saying 2 years ago for the sake of it, because actually we've only started this show 4 months ago. But if I think about myself 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I would have never imagined that I would be creating a TV show, and that I would be that we would be the creators, that we would be the writers, that we would be the directing it, that we would be covering every single aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was that moment when we were in that walk and we were talking about it. I was like, Tash, like actually we are kind of like living the dream that like there are parts of me that are genuinely living that dream, that
Yeah.
dream already.
Yeah.
And yes, like we don't have funding for it yet. We don't have a studio that is backing us up, or we don't have the resources, yeah, that in a normal
Mm-hmm.
production you would have. But we're doing it. We're doing it. And it's so rewarding, actually.
Yeah.
It's so rewarding when you it's always for me like when I watch the final product, I'm like, wow. Because truth be told, like some of the episodes that we've put out there, like I watch them and I think like this belongs, like I know we're watching them on a phone screen, but this belongs,
Yeah.
you know it does.
Yeah. I think that's nice. Just this belongs.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say this belongs in a Netflix show, but actually yes and no, because it just belongs.
Yeah.
It belongs in the creative space. It belongs
Yeah.
in the world that we have actually come up with.
I agree. And I think it's really interesting what you say about success is that you've literally just said like 2 years ago you never would have imagined
Mm,
even being here
yeah.
and having achieved what you've
Mm.
achieved. So I think success is really about like perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of the problem with us is that because we're both really driven people, like I don't like the word no
Does not exist in
isn't
my
a
vocabulary.
concept that I
Yeah.
understand. Like,
Mm.
no, no.
No, because to me, it's like when someone says no, it's like, okay, so how?
Mm-hmm. 100%. So then it's not, I think part of the problem is because we know exactly where this should be, where it deserves to be, where it
Mm.
needs to be, you can't, it's hard to focus on what we've already achieved,
Yeah.
which really is massive because you're constantly like, yeah, but okay, but this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We always want more, which is
Exactly.
natural, but it's equally important to recognize like the journey that we have actually walked already.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like for me, there was a moment where I was having a conversation with a friend just before we shot season 3, and I was having a conversation with a friend. He's an editor, and he was saying to me like, Tash, like, because I was kind of like having like a little bit of like a down day. I was like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. Um, and he was saying to me like, Tash, like, you girls have actually done so much, and it's actually so inspiring to to witness and to see from an outsider perspective.
Mm-hmm.
and and I think in that moment I actually thought, wow, like I hadn't actually thought about it that way, because it's true, because when you are in it you don't necessarily appreciate,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what you're achieving,
Yeah.
or like every single step of the process. But then people from outside will watch, sometimes they watch and they think like, people that are in the industry, I mean, yeah, because I think like there is a big difference between people that worked in the industry and that actually do know what it requires to to do what we're doing actually, and and people that are just like, like audience members, like
Mm-hmm.
they don't necessarily understand, like what it takes, like the whole, from writing to like them producing it to shoot it to like
Mm-hmm.
post production and so on and so on. But it was a really nice moment for me because it really did make me realize about what is it that we're actually doing and making.
Yeah.
And we had to have some grace with ourselves
Yeah.
and understand that actually like it can be inspiring for other people as well.
Mm.
And that really there are no limits. Like if we, for me, if we can do it, anyone can do it. It's just
Yeah.
about having the determination, that determination that we were talking about. It's about just like pushing and like,
Yeah.
and having the right, obviously having the right people around you is super important.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like as well, maybe that's in both of our characters, as as who we are as people. Like we've always been very resourceful in terms of like, okay, so I don't know how to do this, so let's figure it out. Like, who do we need to ask?
Yeah.
Who can help us?
Yeah. Yeah.
um
There's nothing that can't be overcome, I think.
yeah.
There's genuinely nothing at this moment in time now.
Yeah. And do you think, Tash, that like, because I was thinking about this the other day, do you think that like by doing this project, like, do you feel like you've become more confident in a way? Confident, not necessarily about like who you are, but confident in like the work that you do and like what you're capable of doing. Do you think that that's happened to you?
I think so.
Mm.
I think I've always been quite I don't really care what
People
people think
think.
of me.
Yeah.
Um which is good, but I suppose I feel more of that,
Yeah.
and it has given me a confidence to kind of just say, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to let anybody tell me no.
Yeah. I think for me as well, like I've I've always thought of confidence as like, and this has is something that actually when you think about like in a deeper way, Yeah. I've always thought about confidence.
What's that?
Like, it's just actually like really, really deep when you think about
Mm.
it. So I've always thought of confidence as whenever I say that I'm going to say something and then I do it, that
Mhm.
then subsequently gives me confidence. And it only gives me confidence because it's almost like I have proven to myself that I'm not going to let myself down
Mhm.
and that I'm doing it. Yeah. And I think like a lot of the times, like, like a lot of, I think this is super normal in everyone in general, but in the creative industry, like procrastination is a big, big thing. And I always have to snap myself out of procrastinating. And it's precisely because of this. It's like, wow, if I've said to myself that this season is going to be out by April the 1st,
Mhm.
we have to achieve it. And we have to achieve it because of many reasons. But primarily the reason is because I know the confidence that it's going to give me. And with this show, that has played a big part for me. It's
Mhm.
like we said that we will do it, and no matter the outcome, no matter where it lands, no matter how many views we get, no matter what, I don't care. But we said that we will do it, and we're doing it.
Mhm.
And that just gives you like an immense amount of self-belief, i
Yeah.
i believe.
Yeah.
And then it also, I think, like I just came back from Cannes Film Festival, and I spoke to everyone I could. I spoke about the show. Yeah, let's have a drink. Yeah, but I'm just doing a vertical show. You should watch it. um Actually, I've never said you should watch it, but I just talked about it, and then people would be like, "Oh, where can I watch it?" Which, in fact, I thought this is so clever of me. It's so interesting. Um, but yeah, like having the product is actually helped me to feel way more confident about the way I was speaking,
Mhm.
you know, and also like really helped me to like shape and understand who I am as a creative and as an artist, not only from a not only from an acting point of view, but from a directing and creator point of view.
Yeah.
It's kind of like opened a wide um, range of like different opportunities, I think. And something that I also think is quite interesting that we that we speak about is the fact that like when we started this show, I guess we were both actors and we were not being seen enough.
Mhm.
We weren't having them opportunities. And that's probably the reason why we started doing the show.
Yeah.
Like we just wanted to create opportunities for ourselves.
Mhm.
Um, and I think like within the acting community, especially when you're starting, like this is a major thing, isn't it? Like a lot of actors, you don't get enough auditions or you don't get enough castings and things like that. And then some people, they just sit back and relax. I don't think we're that kind of people. Like we're like always like I always feel like I need to feel like the energy is moving forward.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The way I see it is you've got one life to live,
Mm.
and if you know what your sole purpose is,
Yeah.
and what you feel that you're on this planet to do, why are you going to sit back for 5 years and
Not do it.
not not do anything?
And especially as well, like in today's climate, like I genuinely believe there is no excuse with social media alone. Like there is no excuse. Like if you want to be an actor, you can be an actor on social media if you want to. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And that doesn't mean that you're less of an actor because you're not on a big screen. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like if you really care about the art and if you really care about like that sole purpose as you're talking, like you wouldn't mind to be seen on a phone screen or on a big cinema screen.
Mhm.
Am I making sense? Obviously everyone has goals and we want to get there. But if what you really want to do is act, there's so many ways to do it. And you
Mhm.
and like if I don't know, like if any actor was to come to me for any type of advice, that's what I would say. Is like just go and do it. Just go and do it because if what you really want to do is act, you can do it. It's different if what you really want is to feed your ego and be on a big screen. That's completely different. Am I making sense?
Mhm. Yeah. But then it's how you know how do people I feel like a lot of the time people can't determine whether they whether it's their purpose,
Yeah,
whether it's their like the force behind everything,
yeah,
or whether it's for fame and fortune.
yeah,
Because I'll be quite frank, I haven't got fame and I haven't got fortune, and I'm still I'm still pushing 10 years on.
Yeah. Yeah. And we will never stop pushing,
Yeah.
because I think is precisely that, is part of our purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore there is no way you can stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's bleeding you dry, sucking your energy.
Sucking it all. Why do you think that actors like give up sometimes? Like, what do you think that is?
I think a lot of the time, and this is just my perspective, obviously, I could be entirely wrong, but this is just how I feel. I think a lot of the time actors give up because I feel like rejection
Mm.
is massive.
It's quite difficult to deal with, actually.
And I feel like if you don't learn to deal with it,
Mm.
it can become, or it can get to a point where it's difficult to cope with.
Mm.
For
Yeah,
me,
100%.
delusional brain over here, rejection, you're not rejecting me. Like,
You're redirecting me.
you're redirecting me.
Yeah.
And actually, I really appreciate you not giving me this role because
Yeah.
it clearly wasn't right for me.
Yeah. And something super important and something that I learned, and like when this clicked, I was like, everything changed.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as actors, we always feel, and I think it was Lucy Lennox, a casting director that is based in Barcelona, that I think I heard her saying this. Um, as actors, we always think that we have to go and find the role, but
Mm-hmm.
actually, it's the role that finds you.
Yeah.
And I think once you understand that, there is no way that you are worried about, like, what my next project is gonna be, because you know
Mm-hmm.
that the role is gonna find you. If you are really meant for the role will find you. There's no way it will pass you by.
Yeah. What is meant for you will not pass you by.
Never.
That's what they
And if
say.
it passes you by, then it'll come back.
Yeah.
If it truly is meant for you.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I think so.
Is there any time like that you felt like in your career so far where you feel that like an opportunity has passed by and then you think, oh, mm. Can you think of a
Don't get me
time?
wrong, there's things that I've taped for that I've thought, oh, this would be great if I got it.
Mm.
But I don't waste my energy because I have complete and utter trust in the universe.
Mm.
And I know that sounds super wanky, but like
Is the delusional in you?
it's the Delulu in me. I genuinely trust that the universe has my back and it is it'll put me on a path and it'll put things in my way that should be there. That's just how I feel. So I don't think about anything like that because I just think, well, it just wasn't for me, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
that's fair enough.
Otherwise, I'd drive myself nuts, I think.
Yeah. More than you are.
More than I already am, which is mental.
Yeah, no, I'm joking. You're lovely, aren't you?
I'm a bit nuts, so.
No, it's all good. I'm just checking our notes to see if there's anything else that we wanted to. No, I think we kind of like covered it all.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I think just stay true to yourself, follow your dreams. If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't.
Yeah. Oh, gut instinct is so important.
Listen to your gut.
I was talking actually in while I was in Cannes Film Festival, I was talking to a really well-established actor, and he was talking to me about how he uh, rejected a Hollywood role just because his gut instinct said no.
I respect that.
And he was telling me the story, and I was like, "What?" And basically, he actually got off the plane in Los Angeles, yeah, to go and shoot this. And as he stood up, he was saying to me like, while I was on the plane, I just started having this bad gut feeling, and literally, when he got off the plane, he looked at his agent and said like, "I'm not doing it." And they tried to convince him and whatever. There was nothing they could do. And I just thought, I actually thought that was so admirable, just because his gut said no.
Yeah. The gut
He
never
didn't care about the
lies.
money. He didn't care about the career progression. He didn't care about anything. He just cared about what his gut was saying.
Yeah.
You have to be so in tune to be able to do that. And in this industry, there will be a lot of times where you'll be confused, you know. So it's so important to be,
In tune.
yeah,
Zen.
zen,
Balanced.
balanced.
think that's it for another day.
That's it. Next
Next time.
time. Until next time. Love you.